Hello all, this is Professor Anand, your faculty for engineering graphics. I hope you all are doing good. So today in this video I'm going to solve the first problem on projection of solids, and I'm trying to explain you how this problem can be solved using the AutoCAD software in the same time. So before you start with any of the solids problem, please remember one thing in mind: whichever problems we are solving with respect to first quadrant. It means object is on HP and in front of VP. So HP horizontal plane, VP vertical plane. So this is the problem what I'm going to solve today. So you can see here there is a square prism, 35 mm sides of base and 65 mm axis length, resting on HP on one of its edges of the base, which is inclined to VP at 30 degree. So draw the projection of the prism when the axis is inclined to HP at 45 degree. So before you start the problem, try to split the problem into three different parts, that is three different position. So try to understand. First we need to check where is the prism resting. So you can see that the prism is resting on HP. So this is the first data. Then how it is resting, means it is resting on HP, but how it is resting, whether it is resting on its edge or corner. So then he says it is resting on edges of the base. So this is the second point. So it is resting on HP, it is resting on one of the edges of the base in such a way that uh, that edge of the base is inclined at 30 degrees to VP. So this is the next data that is provided. Okay, and when this edge is inclined at 30 degrees to VP, in the same time the axis of the prism is making an inclination of 45 degrees with HP. So this is the main data which is required to solve the problem. And the dimension of the prism is given. It's a square prism. 35 mm is the side of the base and 65 mm is the axis length. So let us begin with the problem. So this is the AutoCAD software wherein I have already made all the pre-settings which you are supposed to do before you start the drawing. Okay, so let us start solving the problem. Let us start with the first XY line. So this is the XY line, right? So let me name it VP and HP, single line text. So height is 3.5 and okay, single line text I want to enter here. So height 3.5, rotation angle 0. So this is horizontal plane, this is vertical plane, and this is the XY line. Okay, so now the question is, from where should I start the problem? Should I start from the top view or the front view? So this can be seen in the question here. So you can see in the question, the prism is resting on horizontal plane, he says. So horizontal plane, you know that it is resting on HP. So henceforth I have to start the problem with respect to horizontal plane. Now it's a square prism whose base edge is 35 mm. So whenever the prism is resting on horizontal plane, when looked from the top, you can see only its uh, top face, like I have explained you in the previous presentations, right? So from the top view, when you look, you can see only the top face of the prism. I think it will be clear if I explain you. Okay. Okay, so this would give a much clear idea. So this is how right now the prism is resting. So it is resting on horizontal plane. So when viewed from the top, you are able to see only the top face of the prism. So I'm supposed to draw only the top face of the prism here. So I'll be using the polygon option to do that. So I'm taking polygon. So here it's 4 sides, number of sides is 4. Enter, and after that you need to select edge option from the command prompt. Click on edge, then you start drawing this. Make sure ortho is kept on. Press function F8 key. So F8 key. So this will keep the ortho on. Now give the dimension 35, enter. So this is how the square prism would look like when viewed from the top. Okay, now coming to the namings of this, I need to name them. So namings I already explained you during the class introduction. I will just repeat it again. So during the namings here, so I need to name it in such a way that if you look at this, so this is the top face of the prism. Okay, so the top face will be visible, whereas the bottom face will be hidden when you look from the top view. So the top faces which are visible, I will be naming it as A, B, C, D, and the bottom faces which are hidden, I'll be naming it as A1, B1, C1 and D1. So this is A, which is visible from the top. Within the bracket I am writing A1. So A1 is exactly beneath this, which is not visible to the observer. So this is B, B1, this is C, C1, and this is D, D1. Okay, so that is the namings what you have to follow in the horizontal plane. So in the horizontal plane, the top faces will be named as ABCD and the bottom faces will be named as A1, B1, C1, D1. So this namings we will follow throughout the projection of solids. Now I need to project this for the front view. So in the front view, the solid, in the front view of the solid, I am able to see only this rectangular part, correct? So in the top view I can see only the top face, in the front view I can see only this front face. So I will project this now to get the front view. So I'll project this up to XY line. So sometimes in the software this issue will occur when you are trying to select this particular point but is taking only this edge. This problem may occur to you also. So that time just type OS, press enter, OSNAP settings, and here just click on select all and give OK. Then you will be able to easily select these points. So like that, so I've projected this point. Okay, so I need what is the length of the axis. So the length of the axis is 65 mm. Okay, so I'll take line option from here, 65 mm. Sorry, it is 65. I gave it as 35. Line, so 65, enter. So this side would be 35 and back to 65 and join the base point also. Now I need to locate its axis also. So let me locate the axis, line. So this is the center of the prism. So from to here I'll project one line and from here I'll project another line. So please draw these two lines as separate lines so that from here to here one line, starting from here to here, and then here to here one more line. So draw it as two separate lines. Now I need to do the namings for this. So namings in the front view. So just look here, it's very simple. First let me name the top face. What are the top faces naming in the top view? Top faces naming are A, B, C and D. So these same namings I have to use in the front view with a dash, because you know that in the front view the names are used with a dash. So A and B are over here, so I should be getting here A dash and B dash. Now because the observer is looking from here, to him B and C will be visible whereas A and D will be hidden. So henceforth when I am writing the namings here, I should make sure A and D are within the brackets. So I will take single line text, click here. So here first, okay, B dash I will write it outside because it is visible to the observer. Okay, first I need to give right 0. So B dash outside the bracket and then within the bracket A dash, then here it will be C dash within the bracket D dash. Okay, so this is the naming for the top face. Now coming to the bottom face naming, you can see here the bottom faces in the top view is what? A1, B1, C1, D1. Same namings you use here also with the dash symbol. That's it. Okay, so here I'm going to name this as B1 dash, sorry, dash within the bracket A1 dash, right? Same thing here, it will be C1 dash within the bracket D1 dash. Fine. Okay, now this line is actually axis line, so it should be a chain line. I need to change the line type of this, so select this particular line, then go to under properties, you have something called as bilayer. Click on this bilayer. So here you should get the continuous the chain line, but chain line is not here, so click on other. It will open up a dialog box. So here also I cannot see the chain line, so click on load. So here just click on any one of this and type C, okay, so that I can see the center line here, center line or axis line, whatever you call this center. Make sure it is selected and you okay, so it will come up within this box now. Okay, now we select this line again, go to this bilayer and click on center. Okay, so now you can see that this line has been converted into a center line or axis line. This is what I actually require, right? Right, so that completes the first position. Now before I go to second position, a question may arise in your mind that in this particular problem I have started with respect to square lamina edge resting position. Why is that edge is on this left or right hand side? Why not it is in other way like the rhombus? For example, I will just show you here. Yes, so polygon, number of sides 4, edge 35. Okay, so you can ask me a question that why the square is drawn in this particular manner, why not in this manner? Because the question very clearly states that it is resting on HP on one of the edges of the base. So I have to make sure that when I am taking this into the second position and I am tilting, I should be getting the edge at this particular position. So that is only possible if I draw the square in this in particular position. If I draw the square in this particular position, I'll be getting the corners here, right? So when I extend this and get the front view, I'll get a corner over here, but the question says it is resting on one of its edges. So this is very important point that has to be taken into consideration. If you go wrong in the initial position to locate whether it is edge resting or corner resting, then the entire problem will become wrong. So be careful, read twice and check whether it is edge resting or corner resting first before you start. So that is the clarification for the question. Now coming to the second position, it is resting on one of the edges of the base. So this is the first position right now what I have. So this is the edge. So if you look at this particular point, the edge is over here, this edge, the left hand side. So this edge or this edge, any one of the edge I have to make it resting on the horizontal plane, and then I have to incline the surface, right? So here in this problem, either I have to incline C and D edge or I have to incline A or P. It should be inclined in such a way that the edge should be inclined in such a way that the axis is inclined at HP at 45 degrees. Okay, so I need to incline this edge C and D or B and A, anyone, until and unless this axis makes 45 degrees with the XY line. That is what the second position I have to do. So first let us choose which edge I'm going to rest. So let us say I'm going to choose C and D as the edge which is resting on horizontal plane. If you want, you can take A and B also. Now remember, if you are taking C and D as the edge, then I need to rotate this entire solid in clockwise direction for resting it on C and D. If I take A and B as the edge, then I have to rotate this solid in the counterclockwise direction so that it rests on A and B. So in this problem I am taking C and D as the edge on which is resting. So henceforth I will be rotating it in clockwise direction. So how to do that? Just copy the entire solid with the namings. So you can see here I am just copying the entire front view here. Click on copy. So I need a reference point, so I'm copying at this particular point and moving it at some distance. Okay, so I just copied this solid, then I'm going to rotate it until and unless this axis become inclined at 45 degrees. Okay, so now you can see that the axis and the edge both are parallel, correct? So if axis is inclined at 45 degree, obviously this edge is also inclined at 45 degree to xy line, correct? So I'll take that as a consideration and I will try to incline this edge at 45 degree, then automatically axis will also be inclined at 45 degree. So I'll select this particular front view and I'll use the rotate command. So here this is my fixed point and this is the rotation point. So first I'll click on the fixed point, then I'll click on reference. Again I will click on the same fixed point, then I will click on the rotating point. Okay, switch off the ortho, F8 key is the shortcut, then you give the angle at what it has to be rotated. So 45 degree, enter. So now you can see I have rotated it at 45 degrees. So this edge is inclined at 45. Now because these both are parallel, automatically axis will also be inclined at 45 degrees. Okay, so now if you want to check the inclination, angular angle between the xy line and this is 45 degrees. That is what the question says. It is resting on one of its edges such that the axis is inclined at 45 degrees to horizontal plane, right? So let me just move this little bit on the left hand side so that I get enough space to do the third position. So I'm just selecting this. This is the move command. Click on this move command and keep the ortho on when you are moving this so that the angle does not get disturbed. And selecting at this point, I'll move it a little bit closer this side. Okay, so that should be fine. Now this namings I will move it above the xy line because it is a front view naming. So you can switch off the ortho and place it over here. Okay, right. So now it is inclined at 45 degrees to the horizontal plane. Okay, just make sure that this is exactly on the xy line. It should not cross the xy line. So while moving it, just be careful. I'm doing it again here. Move, keeping the ortho on F8. Just move it. Okay, then you move this little bit above. Right. So now you can show the angular measurement between axis and xy line is 45 degrees. Now, so we have reached it to this particular position now. So in the front view, you can see, I can see the rectangular box, angle inclined at 45 degree. Okay. So whenever the object is inclined with respect to one plane, on the another plane, you should get its apparent length. You already know it, right? So in the top view, I should get the apparent length of this prism. So let us draw the top view of this prism now. So to draw the top view, make sure you project these lines one by one. I mean to say, first project only the bottom face, then project the top face. So let us do that. First I'll take a line. So from here, keep the ortho on, project one line, and from here project another line. You can see here this line contains bottom face A and B, and this line contains bottom face C and D. So join the bottom faces of this front view to the bottom faces of the this top view. So bottom face of top view, A is here and then B is here. So A and B is to be extended up to this line because A and B of the front view are here. So I'm taking a line command and extending it till here, and this one till here. Now C and D is on this line and C and D is over here. So I need to further extend this till here, and this has to be further extended till here, and join this by drawing one more line on top of this. So now this four lines are the bottom face of the prism when viewed from the top. Similarly, I need to do for the top faces also. Okay, so I'll project the top faces now. So top face coming from here till here. Okay, then line from here to till here. Then you can directly project this. Draw the separate line. Okay, then you have to make sure now this is the top face of the square prism. This is the bottom face, this is the top face. Let us name them first so that it becomes easier. So I'll start from this side. Okay, so this is what A, this is A1 because this is the bottom face. So this is A1, B1, C1, D1. So A1, this is B1, so this is C1, and this is D1. Then this is top face now. So this is A, this is B, this is C, and this is D. Okay, now if you can observe in this prism, right, all the bottom faces are connected to the top faces. If I take this as the bottom face A, this bottom face of A is connected to the top face of A1. Similarly, B to B1, C to C1, right? So in the same way, I need to connect these also. So I have to make sure that A1 is connected with A, B1 is connected with B, C1 with C, and D1 with D. This is very important. So I need to join these line also to complete the top view projection. Okay, that's it. So I have to always make sure A1 is in touch with A, B1 with B, C1 with C, and D1 with D. Now the axis has also to be projected. So I'll take the axis from here. This is the axis, and from this point, so it will come till here. So this is the another point of axis. So this will come till here, and this. So this is the axis. So this side need to change into center line. Change it to center. Now you can look here. I have changed this line to center, but still it is looking me as a continuous line. Okay. So if this case happens, even after changing it to center, if still it is showing it as continuous line, then you just need to select that line. Just right click on that. Go to properties of the line. Just right click and say properties. So property dialog box will appear over here. Okay, now here in this line type, okay, this is 1 here, change this to 0.5, change this to 0.5. Then you can see that the distance between these two lines and the small line has shortened. Because of that I'm able to see it. So anything happens like that, even after changing also, if it is not showing, just select it, right click properties, and change the value from 1 to 0.5. Okay, so now these extra lines, whatever you have here, this has to be trimmed out. So use the trim command, press enter key twice. So trim all the extra lines which are not required. Okay, so can trim it, right? So this completes the second projection. Now going to the third projection. So what all conditions we have satisfied? We have satisfied the condition that the prism is of 35 mm sides length, 65 mm axis length. It is resting on HP on one of the edges of the base, and the axis is inclined to HP at 45 degree. This we have satisfied. Now what about the inclination with respect to VP? So it is inclined to VP at 30 degree. Now the important question is, what is inclined to VP? Right, so you can see that rests on HP on one of its edges of the base, which is inclined to VP at 30 degree. It means what? The edge of the base is inclined at 30 degrees to VP on which the prism is resting. So which is that edge here according to the problem? It is C and D. So this is the edge on which it is resting. So this edge is inclined at 30 degrees to vertical plane. So while doing the projection of laminar problems, you have already known that the HP's inclination will be shown in VP and VP's inclination will be shown in HP. So that is why inclination of 45 degree with HP is shown in VP, and now the VP's inclination of 30 degree will be shown in HP. This you already know why it comes, which we have discussed in projection of plane surfaces. So now I'll continue with the third position. Now, before I go to third position, let me recall you something about apparent inclinations. So you know that in projection of plane surfaces, we need to use to find apparent inclination angle beta. Okay, so apparent inclination with respect to top view is beta, apparent inclination with front view is alpha. So which are already done in projection of lamina. So here also we get apparent inclination in few of the problems. So what I suggest you is each and every solids problem, whichever solids problem you do, before you go to the third position, that is this final position, always check whether you have to find out apparent inclination or not. Before you go to third position, always check whether you have to find out apparent inclination or not for every problems in solid. So now, how to find out whether apparent inclination we have to find or not? So there are two things for it. First one is you need to check what is inclined to VP. So when I say what is inclined to VP, in this question he says the edge of the base on which the prism is resting, that is inclined to VP at 30 degree. So the edge of the base on which it is resting is what? C and D. So this C and D is inclined at 30 degrees to vertical plane. So second thing is whether to check whether you need to find apparent inclination or not, you need to check the original length of CD and the apparent length of CD. Okay, so the original length of CD is what? The original length of the base edge is 35 mm, this one. So I'll just show it over here. So C and D, the original length of C and D is 35 mm. Now check the apparent length of C and D, that is when this prism is inclined. So obviously in the top you will get what? Apparent length of the prism. So check what is the apparent length of C and D. Okay, so you need to check the length of C1 D1 because C and D is the bottom face. So here you can see C1 dash D1 dash is resting. So this is bottom face. So the corresponding bottom face in top view is what? C and D. So obviously this length will also be equals to 35 because this is directly projected over here, right? So just let me show you it for your reference. So this length is also 35. So it means what? The original length and the apparent length of this CD both are same. Okay, so when these both the lengths are same, you don't have to find apparent inclination beta. Got my point? So you need to check first what is inclined to VP. So inclination to VP is what? The edge of the base on which it is resting, which is C and D. So if that edge of the base is not changing its length, if it is not changing its length, then you don't have to find apparent inclination. If it is changing its length, if this length was less than 35 mm, then you are supposed to find the apparent inclination beta. Okay, so please make a note of this point or remember it, that whatever is inclined to VP, if its length is not changed, if it is not changing its length, then you don't have to find beta, that is apparent inclination. If its length is changing, then you have to find the apparent inclination beta. So this you have to do for each and every problem before you go to the third position. Okay, so now I know that I don't have to find out apparent inclination beta. So what I need to do is I need to reconstruct this top view over here in such a way that C1 and D1 is inclined at 30 degrees to VP, because that is the edge of the base on which it is resting. So in manual drawing, you need to draw a 30-degree line. On that you need to mark C and D, and with respect to that you need to reconstruct the entire drawing. In the software it becomes very simple. Select the entire top view with the namings, copy it, click on copy option here, select any one particular point, this point, let us say, move it. Okay, place it here and press escape. So it has been copied. Now rotate this prism with respect to C and D such that the angle is 30 degree. So you have to make sure that C and D should be inclined at 30 degree to the XY line. So select the entire drawing again, use the rotate option. So I'm going to use C1 as a fixed point, D1 as a rotating point. So first click on C1, then click on reference, again click on C1, then D1. So now it is asking what is the rotation angle, right? So the rotation angle should be 30 degrees. So I want it at 30 degrees from here. So give the rotation angle 30, enter, right? Okay. Okay, after rotating it didn't come the way I wanted it, so just undo it, say Control Z. Once again select this drawing. Okay, rotate, take D1 as a fixed point, reference D1, C1. Now give angle as -30, enter. So you can see that C1 and D1 is inclined at 30 degrees. So I already told you how the AutoCAD takes the rotation angle. It takes this as 0, this as 90, 180, 275 and 360. It rotates, it measures in counterclockwise direction. So this was initially perpendicular to XY line. So if I wanted to rotate in this direction, I just give the angle as -30. So it has rotated. Now this front view should not touch or cross the XY line. So I need to move it down. So select the entire top view, switch on the ortho, make sure ortho is on so that the angle will not get disturbed. Then using the move command, move it little bit down, and if you want you can move it little bit on the left hand side too. You can select it again, move and move it. Okay, so when you are doing the manual sketch, you need to draw first a line at 30-degree inclination. On that 30-degree line you need to mark C and D, and then you have to reconstruct the entire drawing. So if I measure the inclination now, angular, with respect to this and this angle should be 30 degrees. That is what the question says. The edge on which it is resting should be inclined at 30 degrees to VP. So that edge is which one? C1 and D1. So I can see that C1 and D1 is inclined at 30 degrees to VP, vertical plane. Now coming to the final position. So in final position, once again as I did here, I did the first bottom face, then I did the top face, then I joined them. Same procedure I will follow here also. So first let me construct the bottom face in the front view. So in the bottom face, look here in the front view, A and B is at this particular position. So from here I'm drawing a line. So on this line I should get A and B of the bottom face, and C and D of the bottom face are already on the XY line. So let me join it. So line, so first this is A which is on this particular line, then B, which is at this point, then C, which is on XY line, and then D, which is on XY line. Then join all the 4 points. So this is A, B, then C, D, back to A. So you can see that this is the bottom face of the square prism. So extra lines you can trim this. Okay, so if you want, you can immediately name them there itself so that there is no confusions. Okay, so let me start from here. This is A1 dash, so I'll name it here so there are no confusions with respect to the points. And then this point is B1 dash, so this is B1 dash. This point is C1 dash, and this point is D1 dash, right? So that completes the bottom part. Now let me come to the top face. So top face in the top view is here ABCD, and here is the front face. So first project lines from this view and from here. So this line I should join AB from the top view. So I'll take A from this point and join it to this point. I'll take B from this point and join it here. And I will take C from here and join it to this point. I'll take D from here and join it to this point. So join A to B, B to C, C to D, D to A. Okay, so extra lines you can trim. These are the extra lines. So this is the top face of the prism ABCD. So let me name it so that there are no confusions. Please make it a habit, as soon as you draw any of the position, you name it there itself. So this is A1, this is B1, this is C1, and this is D1. Okay, and I'm supposed to use it as A dash, B dash. Sorry, the namings are A dash, B dash, C dash, and D dash. This is D dash. Okay, I can change the namings here. You just need to double click this, so I can change it there itself. This is A dash. Just double click on them. So this is B dash. Double click, and then this is C dash. Okay, now the very important thing which I told you, that all the bottom faces are connected to the top face. It means what? A1 dash should be connected to A dash, B1 dash to B dash, C1 dash to C dash, and D1 dash to D dash. So take line command, join A1 dash to A dash. Okay, now you just join one line. Same length of line will be there for other faces also. So you just select this, say copy it from A1 dash point and keep it on B1 dash, C1 dash, and D1 dash. So because the length of this line will be same for all the 4 faces. So finally this becomes your final projection. So you need to project the axis also, don't forget the axis. So axis is over here, and another point of axis is from here. So this is the point, then axis of another point is from here, and this point is over here. So this is the axis line. So this I have to change it to center line. So this is the center line or axis line. Okay, so this completes the problem. So this is the final projection of the solid as per the given condition. Okay, so I'll just go through this problem once briefly before I wind up. Just try to understand. In the first position, very first thing you need to look into is where is the solid resting and how it is resting. So the question says the solid is resting on HP. So that is why I started with the top view, and he says that it is resting on one of its edges. So that is why edges I have drawn it in this manner. If he says corner resting, you have to draw it like in diagonal shape, okay, or diamond shape. Then to this you will get the front view. Next, going to the second position, in the front view, they have said that it is resting on one of its edges of the base and in such a way that axis is inclined at 45 degree. So I am making axis inclined at 45 degree, resting on edge of the base C1 dash D1 dash. So to this you will get the top view. Now before you go to third position, as I told you, you need to check for apparent inclination beta. What are the conditions for apparent inclination beta is that first you need to check what is inclined to VP and whether that length has changed or not. So in this problem, the base edge C1 dash D1 dash is inclined to VP. So the original length of C1 dash D1 dash is 35. Apparent length is also 35. So the length has not changed. Henceforth, we don't have to find apparent inclination beta. Make this a habit that before you go to third position, always check whether you have to find apparent inclination beta or not. Hope you have understood this particular problem both in theoretical aspect as well as in the software. If you have still any doubts or queries with respect to this, you can communicate with me through your Google Classroom or in the WhatsApp. I will try to answer all your queries. Okay. So in the next video lecture, I will be taking one more problem on projection of prisms, wherein I will be taking one problem with respect to how to find apparent inclination beta. Okay. So till then, keep practicing these kind of problems. Very shortly, I will be giving the assignment also. Okay. Thank you.